Hello, I'm Chylli from Channel Chylli, also known as Chai, and we are back with more depersonalization. Last time we left off, I am so bad at names. Oh yeah, the Graymatter site. We got into Graymatter here. And we killed our first monster, and now we're going back to meet with our teammates. You managed to connect a call to Bird and the rest. The team locates you on the floor plan. Judging from the floor plan, you're now inside a meeting room on the lower office section. I'd suggest you make no further moves until we arrive. Our consultant can't even wipe their ass without our help. And shall have your malpractice hold full responsibility for it. The conversation ends with Harkin's cackle and Bird's roaring chide, and the dialogue cuts off. The suffocating hush returns alongside the stagnant air. Nothing but eerie silence, if chill of fear crawls onto your spine as you sense a pair of prying eyes set upon you. You feel a lump of cold metal pressing to the back of your head. You don't even have to guess what it is. Do as I say. Lower your weapon until I tell you to stop. The metal pushes itself at your head. I don't like repeating myself. With a quick intake of breath, you turn with agile swiftness. At the same precise moment, your right thumb snags the hammer of the pistol and your left hand darts out to grasp the gun handle firmly. In a heartbeat, the tables have turned. And I don't like someone pointing a gun at my head. In the face of this unexpected turn of events, the woman remains unfazed. There's no hint of panic or fear in her eyes as she stares back. You notice her lab coat and a name card is pinned neatly on the chest. It reads Administrator Nyla. I can see you're a quick mover. If the HQ had decided to send helpers here, the rest of the team were very likely to have arrived with you. Put that down and assemble your colleagues. You'll get an explanation from me later. And so you do. It doesn't take long before your teammates come to your rescue. You return as a team to the ground. Bird inspects his member's condition before pausing his sight on the new member. Although the two have yet to exchange a word, he seems to grasp the situation and steps to a formal salute to the administrator of the site. You must be the administrator here, Ma'am Nyla Claire, correct? I'm Bird Mikhail Kozlov, captain of the investigation team. We are here to uncover what happened within Graymatter. Nice to meet you, Captain. If I may, ma'am, I'd like to ask you to share your knowledge of the accident down here. Fine, but be warned that the details escape me. If my memory serves me right, a guard knocked open the door of my dormitory around 3 o'clock this morning, with the news of grotesque monsters raiding the site. I'm unable to ascertain where these monsters came from, yet they swiftly took over the storage area and the access elevators. It made it impossible to get away from the site. I survived because of the protection of our security personnel, but tragically they've been killed. Naturally, I left my room and sheltered myself inside the ventilation pipe in the incinerator room, where fans are powered by a separate set of generators. It wasn't before the rescue team's arrival, followed by the restoration of the power supply, did I seek to examine the meeting room. You're the first people I've met since the accident. I see. Fred looks at his feet, lost in thought. He seems to be very hesitant about what he's going to say as he recasts his eyes to the female officer. Ma'am, our mission requires us to finish the data backup of the main control console in addition to the investigation. I'm sorry to say that the task does not allow us to escort you to the ground before we finish our job. It's only right for a Blackfield member to place the site before its administrator. Besides, securing the data of our research is also where my duty lies. Follow me, and I'll see you to the control console. During the conversation, O'Quill's vigilant eyes scan your surroundings, while he looks ready to throw himself between Nyla and any emerging threats, as he has been keeping close by. For an instant, you take him as the administrator's private guard. Do keep your moves quiet. I can't say how many more monsters are lurking here. Under Nyla's guidance, you arrive deeper in the Graymatter site. Though there are multiple hard stoppings where you almost bump straight into the lurking monsters, you at long last manage to make your way to the site's core section, the control area. The gate to the control area slides open in response to Nyla's authorization. Behind the dense sail air and the pristine glass window wall, a titanic monolith erects from the earth, inspiring both awe and fear as it points to the dark ceiling above. The whole control area seems to be built around the tower, with this giant resting silently at the core of the other side of the window wall is sectioned off. Eldritch blossoms thrive at the monolith's foot, decorating the meadow with otherworldly colors. Go in, you take some samples around here. On my way. Harkins, on the other hand, has not said anything since he stepped into the area, but leases himself at the distant monument. Monolith. It's been 5 minutes since you last talked. Harkins, get your ass moving. Yeah. Oh boy, that is a lot of stuff here. Let's save really quickly now so we don't accidentally move on before we're ready. Inside this absurdly spacious laboratory, the team sweats up once again to tend to their own work. Bird keeps a vigilant eye while patrolling to and fro. Nyla rests her back on a chair with her eyes closed. O'Quill, not too far from Nyla, checks his weapon in his hand and appears to be ready for movement. Helene seems to be absorbed in the results of the device she's holding after a thorough search of the room. Harkins, on the other hand, is operating the control panel while never ceasing to mumble about something in his mouth. You also notice a high-power monocular set up next to the window, which you assume must be used to take a closer look at the distant monolith. Nyla's calmness in a waveless sea as she rests her back on the chair, as if none of the disasters here has ever happened. May I ask about the details of this black monolith? I don't think they're available to investigators of your rank. I signed an NDA prior to the investigation, and your information will be safe with me. Big companies believe what they want to believe, my dear consultant. And that's the whole point of Graymatter's establishment. Surely, you don't have picked figures and bandages stocked up. They're like those in the pyramids. If you're seeking an answer from me out of pure curious horror for science, then I can give you what you want. But I won't need to remind you that every answer comes with a price. Hopefully you won't find yours too dear to pay. You know you're heading at the right direction when the administrators start to give you warnings, consultant. First face darkens once again, like storm clouds before a downpour. Shut your mouth, Harkins. Let's stop here, my consultant. We wouldn't want our dear administrator to be displeased now, would we? I've never seen these plants before. I've heard a company uses their extraction for a medicine man. It could be said so. Ma'am? Helene's voice catches you off guard as you turn to your side and find the girl standing next to you. It must have taken her a while to summon the courage to come to Nyla as she wears that jittery expression. I remember your face, Helene, right? Yes, I've read all your papers. I'd be more than obliged to if you can answer a few questions here. I promise a private discussion between the two of us after we leave this place. You can ask everything you want to know. That's fascinating. I can't thank you enough. Oh, and, I took some samples from the monster's fluid and the results show... It's okay, hand me the report. Nyla then raises the chair before leading Helene to a corner. The two seem to be having a deep discussion over some matter. Following a transient silence, Nyla takes her leave. Meanwhile, Helene remains clutching the data as she broods over the implications. Didn't your parents tell you not to disturb others' work? Don't tell me you lost them when you were young. A female's image flashes in Harkin's screen. Bearing a pleasant smile on her face, she disappears before you can grasp her look. What was that? I don't know what you're blabbering about. Perhaps it's time you gave those weary eyes of yours a rest. There's absolutely nothing out of sorts here. That's what someone would say if there was something out of sorts, though. Berna's shown me your file. Oh, cool. What do you want from me now, blackmail? You should be aware, Harkins, that any unusual activities won't go unnoticed by the company. They might just... Is this supposed to be a threat? Perhaps you need a bit more practice. You know, the tone, the choice of words, the expression. He grabs the unpackaged chalk bar on the control panel and bites a chunk off. He then gulps and tells you... The way he gulps tells you he doesn't bother to chew the food before sending it down to his belly. How else would you convince others that you're dealing with a criminal? Not just an average individual who's been wronged. The way you're trying to say is, you didn't commit any crime, that you're just a victim who's been wronged. You've rifled through the files in the cabinet at the entrance, right? You surely don't believe all those who come here for those tests are mere volunteers, do you? They're all prisoners, just like me. Those with skills become technicians, while the rest are treated as lab rats. When they're short of hands for lab rats, they just create more. We're just tools they can take advantage of, for their benefit. A dispensable cost that won't even come up to their edge. Yeah, it sounds like a modern company, alright. And you don't have any evidence to prove you're innocent? I don't think you would just accept these. Of course I don't. When they're short of hands or lab rats, they just create more. We're nothing more than tools they take advantage of for their benefit. A disposable cost that won't even come to their ledge. Okay, that's just the same dialogue that was before. But even so, I don't deserve all of this. I didn't know being an investigator was such an easy job. Because clearly some suckers with mud in their heads are doing the task. I don't know, maybe you are as innocent as you claim to be. Keep guessing. Now that I'm in a good mood, I feel like introducing you to a friend of mine. The female you just saw a few minutes ago reappears on the screen, wearing the same smile on her face. He also recognizes you and waves at you hello this time. Meet Dorothy, the advanced AI of Blackfield. AKA my wife. AI? Your wife? I should thank whoever started the incident here. Thanks to their heroic deeds, Blackfield had to authorize me to access my beauty for the investigation, so we can now see each other through the screen. Average man flirting with AI on the internet? Alright, I've talked too much. Now go find someone else to harass. Harkins drives you off with a wave of the hand. You can't help but take a glance back at the man you have yet to learn about. A soft smile you never saw before from Harkins now hangs on his face as he places his gentle gaze on the screen. I feel like making friends with these people is much better than making enemies of them. Especially since we're gonna be relying on them while we're here. Helene seems to be lost in her thoughts with her device in her hand. Did you find anything, Helene? Your inquisition startles her. There's a sharp shift in her expression as she turns her head to you. Regaining her composure, her head shakes, denies you're worried. No, nothing at all. Nothing new here. You scrutinize Helene, who's reluctant to share with you her information. With all the clues you now have with you, now is the time to let her confess. Helene, I found this record in the security room. According to the messages, a batch of unidentified personnel have left the Graymatter site. They were not alone. The site also dispatched some biological samples with the people to another research lab. You said you'd worked for Blackfield somewhere else before. Helene, can you tell me if you've seen the black-blooded monsters before? In other research labs, perhaps? Do they have something to do with the incident here? Helene's trembling body, upon hearing your question, suggests she's really not prepared for the question. Her hand rests against the wall behind as she gasps for air, nearly falling onto the ground. God, she's having like a panic attack here. Helene finds consolation from your words of appeasing. Enough so that she manages to collect herself as she turns her gaze to you, a sliver of agony still lingering in her eyes. You might not believe what I'm going to say, but trust me, I'm telling nothing but the truth. I was formerly a researcher at another Blackfield site, working side by side with my fiancé on viral infectious diseases. My fiancé serves as an administrator there as well. One fateful day, we received a batch of abnormal samples. Black blood drawn from test subjects. We discovered that this blood possessed a potent inhibitory effect on all known viruses. Every one of the subjects was cured of their contracted diseases, but in turn they developed severe cognitive disorders, ultimately dying from the shock. There wasn't a single exception. The black blood flowed from their mouth upon death, same to that monster we met. God damn it. It's okay, we can just get through to get back there fairly quickly, but... still gonna take a couple minutes to get back here. But Haverick seemed to be fascinated by the curious blood, indulging himself on the research day and night. It was only by accident that I found him doing experiments while keeping me in the dark, and when I called the guards to break into the lab, he's gone. There's only his lab coat on the ground, soaked in the puddle of horrendous black blood. You'll understand what I've been through to put myself back together since he left me. But 1 week after the accident, an anonymous letter arrived. I could tell the writing was none other than Haverick's, and its content was as plain as it was terrifying. Destroy the black blood and leave the lab. So I ended up here as an investigator, not a researcher. I want to find out the truth behind the black blood. I want to find Haverick if he's still alive. Please, I know it sounds absurd, but trust me that everything we've seen today inside the site is the doing of that black sample. That blood sample I and Haverick had worked on in the black blood. If you believe what I've just shared, please don't tell anyone about this. After I left my site and joined the investigative team, I discovered that many things weren't as simple as I had initially thought. The subjects weren't volunteers at all. The Blackfield had committed numerous wrongdoings to cover up their failed experiments. Alright, I think we silently might progress here. With the aid of the telescope positioned by the window, you find that the colossal black monolith looming outside doesn't even reflect any light. Even under the beaming searchlight, the surface of the monolith is not smooth, instead it is riddled with fine cracks. The pattern of the cracks evokes a sense of familiarity within you. With your shaking hand, you retrieve the dagger from your pocket. As your restless sight shifts to and fro, the result of your comparison fills your heart with despair. Though your sanity refuses to believe it, the veins of the two are unmistakably the same. I assume I was trying to say there. Leave the sentry work to me and go get the rest you need. I have to hand it to you, investigator. I only got to learn about you along the way. Here. I was wrong. You're a reliable teammate, and I'm glad to have you in my team. Now rest up. We still have more waiting for us on our way back. The notification sent from Harkins' laptop rings throughout the laboratory before catching everyone's attention. He turns to Bird as he shuts the computer closed. Done, Bird. I just finished the backup. Everyone, check your equipment. We're leaving. If you'd excuse me. Captain, I need to enter the Monolith area if you'd allow it. I have something to tender to in the central cultivation chamber. Ma'am, you've seen what just happened. I suggest we leave this place at once. Rest assured that all I need is a sample from the plant within the chamber. It'd be of great support to us if we're to retreat. Something's off, so you've sensed. A manual set-down that required high-level authorization. Volunteers that kept flowing into the site for the experiments must have had black blood running inside their veins. All these lead you to the conclusion that I was hiding something from you. So obviously the monsters have those black stone eyes that are the exact same as our black dagger we have here. And likely what's inside the black blood as well. And it's all tied to this monolith, I believe, so... Nyla is likely working with the enemy, perhaps, here. And is trying to get us to interact with the monolith to do something with us here. If you'd excuse me, you halt the rest of the team as they begin to depart. With all the eyes now resting on you, you take a long deep breath to clear your mind. I believe you still have some questions to answer for ourselves. They can wait until we get back to the ground level. Affirmative, our first priority is to finish the task. Still, the administrator here seems to have kept a lot of secrets to herself. You explained the black-blooded monster's biological resemblance to humans and the rumor from Harkins on how the lab had been receiving a massive number of prisoners for their experiments. You've retold the facts, yes, but I don't see what these facts have to do with our mission right now. Once we've made ourselves out of the sight, you're free to get to the answers you seek from others. In addition, I'm fully aware that administrators have the highest level of authorization within the site, and that only administrators can switch on and off the power supply. Then I'd suggest we compare the operation log with Nyla's story right here, right now. There's a drastic shift in Nyla's expression in just a flash. She starts to demonstrate a sense of anxiety that's unfitting to the cold administrator. As I said, those are things you should keep to yourself out of. While you're in the midst of an argument, a significant tremor courses through the floor beneath your feet. Glancing out the window, you see the peak of the monolith piercing through the ceiling and continuing its ascension. Hey, am I seeing things or is it growing? And then out of nowhere, the uncanny roar enveloped you. It's echoed so intensely that you felt a sharp twinge in your back. Then several monsters burst through the window, storming into the control area. Safety off, fire at will. Just at this very moment, the trembling beneath your feet intensifies. Confused and curious, you look around. Amidst the chaos, you notice a crack starting to form at the center of the monolith afar. Then all of a sudden, reality begins to warp as things before your eyes start to distort. The black monolith continues rising in height as the rooftop crumbles and detaches in chunks. Its body suddenly cracks open a big slit, followed by the spectral green glow that soon pervades the whole chamber. Awkwardly, you barely keep your distance from both the falling rocks and the monsters. Helene's scream penetrates through the ruckus as you keep your eyes around your footing. Watch out! At once you lift your head, only to find a massive chunk about to land on you. Time seems to lose its rhythm within the instant, and your vision begins to black out as darkness veils your eyes. The sound of seashore waves brushes your ear before you lose consciousness, voidness. Gradually, you come to consciousness. The incessant drumming in your ears and a pounding headache throbbing behind your temples make themselves immediately known. As your vision gradually clears, an oppressive, cloud-filled sky comes into view. Its sickening gray hue churns your stomach. You sit up to find yourself alone on a beach, the white sand lapped by dark waters. There's no sign of any other human or animal presence, it's just you. You give yourself a quick once-over. Aside from a bump on your forehead and lingering dizziness, you can't detect any other signs of injury. Unknown island. As far as your eye can see, there's no buildings or ships in sight across the expansive sea. At the edge of the beach behind you begins a dense, deep jungle that stretches out into the distance. And nestled within its depths, some mountain limbs. So the monolith was some kind of gateway to another realm, I suppose. You unclip the walkie-talkie. Does anyone copy? Bird, Helene, Harkins? Can anyone hear me? Oh, Quill. A few minutes later, there's still no responses. Where is everyone? It would be best to get out of here first. What the? Suddenly, a burst of intense pain thrusts through your head, causing you to gasp in agony. The headache quickly spreads throughout your body, feeling as if red-hot needles were incessantly searing your muscles, causing violent contractions. Sweat rapidly soaked through your clothing. The disorienting sensation induced by the pain leaves you unable to discern whether you're still on your knees or if you've collapsed to the ground. You find yourself wishing for immediate unconsciousness, even reaching out to feel the ground for a stone that would potentially help expedite your calm. A few minutes pass, or perhaps longer, and the pain begins to recede. As awareness slowly creeps back to your senses, you painstakingly rise from the ground, noticing that you're covered in dirt and blood. Sand fills your mouth, a metallic bloody scent fills your nostrils as you feel cuts on. You struggle to your feet and take to your surroundings, suddenly realizing that at some point you strayed away from the beach. You're now navigating a rocky terrain, and not far off atop a massive boulder echoes a boisterous peal of... That's Harkins. The colossal boulder is encircled by numerous smaller rocks of varying heights akin to a grand stage. Drawn by the laughter, you slowly ascend the boulder. There you find Harkins seated alone upon the ground, seemingly conversing with the empty air. At this moment, his body is riddled with injuries, and the equipment he once carried is nowhere to be seen. Harkins, are you alright? What is this place? Harkins pays you no mind, his focus still directed toward the sky as he continues his solitary discourse. Time? The world teeters on the precipice of oblivion and you're clamoring for the hour? Harkins, can you hear me? They're all the same, you see. No one really cares what you have to say. They'd rather you keep your mouth shut and blend in. Or you can turn yourself into an alcoholic or a druggie and no one's gonna cheer. What? Shut up, Harkins. Shut your mouth, Harkins. It's as if those voicing those words are intimately aware of the next steps they must take. Harkins' mood escalated in intensity as he continued his soliloquy. Your attempt turns out to be successful. Harkins appears to regain his composure. But just when you begin to believe everything is going to be okay, he suddenly collapses onto the ground. You approach him only to discover that the chip implanted in his neck has exploded. Blood is currently flowing out from the wound. Oh wow, he is most certainly dead here. What the hell happened? Where is everyone? It's all over. We're finished. Haven't you seen them? Who? You haven't felt their presence yet, have you? Then allow me to assist you with that. What are you talking about? We'll see each other later. Don't get frightened. Perkins draws his final breath. A peculiar smile spread across his lips just moments before the grip of death seizes him. His gaze stays fixed on you as if he stumbled upon a plaything far more intriguing. You attempt to search his body for something of use, but your effort yields only a few miscellaneous parts. As you make your way along the coastline, dark jungle replaces the gray reef beach, before giving way to imposing cliffs. Unable to find a safe path for your footing along the edge, you turn back into the depths of the jungle. The splitting pain inside your head returns, blurring your vision as well as the path before you. What's happening to me? Then your ears catch something moving at your direction. Trunks, boulder, sky, everything within your vision starts to lose its shape, distorting and revolving into what it shouldn't be. It's as if they're driven by the horrendous wills of their own. Unspeakable hues blind your darkness-tortured eyes, which now scream at your mind for a moment of respite. You summon your concentration to repel the hallucinations, trying to pull back your senses from the brink of insanity and locate the sound. Within your hue-tainted vision, you find not too far from you a monster hiding under its gray furry skin, its eyes probing at you. Your legs freeze. Inch by inch, you carefully raise both of your hands to the air, making clear your lack of hostility. But the gray beast seems to be frightened by your move as he quickly hides his body behind the trunk. It's not until the monster peeks its cowardly head out that you realize it's not a monster you're looking at, it's Helene. Helene? She instantly disappears behind the tree as you call her by her name. Are you hurt? Is there anyone else here with you? And I might need some help. My head's pounding like hell. Can you take a look at it for me? Regardless of your questions, Helene offers no response. You notice her shoe is missing. The tremble in her feet makes it clear she's consumed by panic. Helene! Completely lost in fear, Helene's body trembles behind the trunk, her lips sealed and pale. Goddamn, took 4 attempts on a 90% chance. Chylli performed a contest against Helene, diplomacy against willpower. You manage to calm Helene down, and she seems to regain part of her consciousness as she moves the upper part of her body out from behind the tree. What happened back in the lab, Helene? How did we end up here? Helene shakes her head lightly. There were monsters, and the next second I was here. Is someone else here with you? Helene seems to shake her head lightly. That's okay, Helene. Tell me, what's terrifying you? She shakes her head once again. Suddenly, her bulging eyes turn to another direction as she recoils back in despair. You anxiously try to figure out what has happened here from Helene, but her delirium pagan mind fails to notice you despite your pleas. After a burst of hysteria, she seems to have witnessed some unnameable horror and swivels her back at you. You try to grab her by the arm, but the pain inside your head re-emerges. The agony is turning your surroundings into a haze. Before you fall over, your hand reaches for Helene in a desperate attempt to hold her in position. You don't make it, however, as she leaves you and vanishes into the jungle, leaving you on the ground with her medical kit in your grip. Waves of headaches continuously batter your weary body, forcing you to slump despairingly under a tree, gasping for air. Each breath seems to drain more life from you, and your eyelids begin to grow increasingly heavy. You know too well that should you close your eyes now, you would never be able to open them again. Just as you painstakingly standing back on your feet. What time is it now, my child? You hear a man's voice murmuring in your ear. You turn aside. Nothing. Not even a sign of intelligent life. Your Royal Highness, we burglars only answer the moon and stars when they call us upon their nighted stage. The voice sounds so close to you, as if he's whispering to your ear, but also so far away that you can't locate it, however you try. I promise my return, Your Royal Highness, and the gentleman's word is to be redeemed. Harkins, you're here? How? Where? Now if you would deign to lower your holy head. You look down and see Harkins' grimace on a cobblestone. It's not a bas-relief from his countenance on the stone, no. Rather, his countenance gives the stone its form. Your faithful squire's back, good sir. How do you like my new body? Maybe this will look even better. As the voice resonates from a side, the face on the cobblestone is gone before you know it. You turn over and find Harkins, his grinning face on the surface of the crude bowl, and you're pressing yourself against a slender branch sticking out from it. Yeah, there's just no way to scroll here. Oh, grandfather, telling fibs doesn't feel very good at all. Just as you're about to give his face a closer inspection, he fades out before the same expression popping out of the leaf on your feet as your shoes head. The more you see, the more you realize that it's not just a chase game between Harkins and you, he's simply one step ahead of you every time you try to move your... There's no reason to fight him here. Are you a ghost, or am I hallucinating? Well said, Your Royal Highness. This ghost has sworn his fealty to you. Aye aye, on second thought, perhaps I put it too simple. I'm here, Lord Hamlet, so that the play can begin. Did I land on the back of my head when I got here? What else can explain this madness? Now you know to wear a helmet next time you visit strange places. It can't have anything to do with this island, right? Congratulations, you've missed all the correct answers. Where did you learn to be such a rotten drama actor? My incompetence only sets off your nobility, Your Highness. What are you really? Is it my own imagination fooling me again? Perhaps I am, who knows? Oh my lord. Everything seems to have gone off when I came to this island. I need to figure out how I arrived here and what's inside that monolith. Oh, so it begins, the grand adventure of a knight and a squire. Oh fun, I'm Don Quixote now. So you're... Okay. I wasn't expecting the game to make that reference. So you're happy to sit in Sancho Panza's role? I'd be more than glad to lead your steed for you if you can find a piece of armor to make your character whole. I cannot believe I made the Don Quixote reference before the game did. To your surprise, the pain and dizziness in your head seems to have been relieved since Harkins came to the stage. You start to wonder if that's because his blather is all more intolerable. So who are we gonna bump into next? Badam, the war maniac, or that female officer? Come on, you don't have to walk on your toes now that we're alone in the jungle. I need someone to talk to and I'll be bored to death. That will make me look like a murmuring idiot. Look, you already are. If I'm not imagining you, why did you come to me? What do you want? To drag my sanity down with you? Not at all, sir. I'm doing this. No, I have to do this because it is fun. Harkin seems to enjoy his teasing while you're losing your patience with the clown, but it's not like you can punch a phantom in the face. Harkin's mockery isn't getting you out of the trouble. You choose to find the answer yourself, ignoring his questions. Oh, I didn't know you learned a tour thing from that dumb. I see you want to solve the questions on your own, which is good. But teamwork might be the better solution to get us out of this jungle, you know. Oh, by the way, something's coming at you. A shadow darts at you from as the two of you speak. You make a quick step backward after locating the direction of the ambushers. As your feet touch the ground, a black spear thrusts into the ground where you just stood. Let's throw a party! Barbecues are served with beer and grills are served on skewers. Two black monsters leap from the branches under the solid ground, their appearance the exact replica of what you encountered at the lab. Are you curious why they're here as we are? But my question is, why not? As Harkin's working on the next word of the scorn, the monsters have begun to charge at you. It shouldn't be too bad, I don't think, here. Oh wow, yeah, we just turned one there. The two monsters fall to their knees just as you catch your breath. Another one who has hidden itself among the canopy throws itself at you. Just as the monster's claws are within a hair's breadth from your throat, a dark shadow flies past your ear, trailed by a rending, searing sensation. In the blink of an eye, a sharp pain nails the monster on a trunk. God, what am I saying? A sharp spear nails the monster on a trunk through its abdomen. Fear sends a chill down your spine as your eyes land on the dead monsters. What abomination could have penetrated a monster and a tree all in one shoot? Oh my good lord. A man over 6 feet tall enters your vision from behind. His ragged clothes are as antique as they are shabby. The curves of his one exposed muscular arm are unlike what you've seen from those ancient Greeks. Not unlike what you've seen from those ancient Greek aesthetic sculptures. In sharp contrast, his other malformed arm entangles his chest like a wither. The same is true for his face. One half resembles the masterpiece of the great artists of ancient times, while the other reminds you of their discarded failures that would be toppled just for a rework. The giant places his hand on the spear and with an easy lift pulls it back into his hand before moving the weapon onto his shoulder. His mild gaze downward at you shows no traces of hostility. You summon the courage to talk to him, and against all odds, he replies with a very slow dialogue. Monolith. The tall figure points his finger to himself. All brawn and no brain, just typical. We can use him for good, don't you think so? The ghost that knows no quietness, the giant whose strength sees no peers, the traveler who has lost the way. All in the same picture at the moment. It seems this Monolith is not making you his enemy, nor has he a will to. His lips unseal again when he notices your uneasy gaze on him, spelling his name on the broken syllables. He seems to invite you to call him by his name. You know how to leave this place. You wish to learn more about the route to escape the island, but Monolith's limited vocabulary confines his oral expression. Instead, his hand does the talking for him, which baffles you. Finally, Monolith points toward a direction leading deeper into the jungle. Hill, that hill. Looks like he's indicating toward the mountain in the distance. The black spear in Monolith's hand draws your attention. May I have a look at your weapon? Without any hesitation, Monolith hands the spear to you. If a hunter willingly relinquishes his weapon to another, he's either too naive to harbor any suspicions, or he is simply confident enough in his ability to strangle the prey with his bare hands. Which one do you believe he is? The spear weighed more than you anticipated, its long smooth shaft and razor-sharp blade indicative of meticulous upkeep. The blood-stained blade of the spear did not seem to be made of metal, instead it seemed to be crafted from a sort of black stone, shaped and sharpened into one seamless spear. Familiar, isn't it? You retrieve the black dagger you've been carrying and notice that both weapons are crafted from the same material. Even the manners in which the handles are wrapped are identical. You pass the black dagger to Monolith, thereby confirming that the weapon indeed originated from the islanders. You finding confirmation for your conjectures, yet you feel yourself spiraling further into an even more bewildering mystery. Shut up, Harkins. Don't appreciate the narration I've crafted for you? Wouldn't it be more compelling to suggest a looming conspiracy hanging over us? Or should I say, hanging solely over you? Monolith, did he say anyone who wears the same outfit as mine? You reconstruct Helene's appearance with both words and gestures. Monolith, on the other hand, just scratches the back of his head after giving it a shake. He hasn't seen or he hasn't understood. A sudden thought strikes you as you pass Helene's medical kit over to Monolith. Is the smell of this concoction familiar to you? Monolith takes a sniff of the medical kit and nods. You recognized it? Take me to the place. Sir, are we just gonna place our full trust in this book? At least he seems more capable than a jester. Haha, I'm starting to get your sense of humor. Alright, so it seems like Helene will be in the swamp there. Okay, we can come back here later to do something. But anyway, that's where I'm gonna leave it off for now. So, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time when we continue with more depersonalization. Until then, bye!